Well, hello, Becky Isaacs Bowman. You're in Hendersonville, Tennessee,
Yeah,
and I'm in Houston, and I hear there's big news today.
I'm excited for the first
Tell us.
time. I'm 47 and I've recorded with my family my whole life, but I've never made a solo record.
It's
And so
about
today,
time.
no, I'm not sure about that,
It
but
is.
today it's coming out. The
Look at it.
songs that pulled me through the tough times record. Let's see
I
here.
read the songs for us.
Okay, so the first song is Dream. And I did that. Okay, let me explain the record a little bit.
Okay.
I've always wanted to make a solo record, but was scared to. And because I play the guitar, I wanted to feature guitar hero influences, people that have influenced my life musically on the guitar. And so I was in the studio one day and I was recording a background session for somebody, and there was a musician there named Kelly Back, and he's an incredible guitar player. And so I was talking about this song and how I love this song and I would love to record it. He said, "Oh, you should record that on your next solo record." And I said, "I've never made a solo record." And he said, "Why not?" And I said, "Because I'm too shy." I said, it's not my thing." And he said, "You should totally do that." I said, "Well, maybe one day if I get enough nerve, I'll call you." And so the session finishes that day. We go out to eat after because we're all hungry, long day in the studio. And we're sitting there at the restaurant, and I noticed he was like texting and doing stuff, and I wasn't thinking nothing about it. It was a long day catching up on your phone. And right before we left, he paid his ticket, and he looks up from the wallet of his of where you pay your ticket, and he said, "Hey, I'll be in the studio April the 11th at 11 a.m. Don't stand me up." And that was 2 weeks away from that day. And I was like, "What are
Wow.
you talking about?" He said, "We're starting your solo record." And just like that. And so for 2 weeks, I would panic. He said, "Don't stand me up. I'm clearing my schedule to do it." I said,
Wow.
"Okay." So then for 2 weeks, I prayed about it and I was like, "Lord, what do I need to do? How do I need to make a solo record?" I know I wanted to feature Guitar Heroes. And I began to pray about it. And I was thinking, over the years, the Isaacs have recorded 75-80% of the songs we record, Sony and I have written. And so I'm
Yeah.
very transparent when I write. You can tell if I'm having a good day, a bad day, if I'm emotional, if I'm happy, because the lyrics of those songs are very transparent. And we live very transparent lives. If our family members have battled addiction, and I battled Crohn's disease and depression and different things. And so we've been very transparent with our music. And so as I begin to think about what would best fit my heart for this record, and I always had the title Songs That Pulled Me Through the Tough Times.
Hmm.
And immediately I felt like I don't need to sing the songs that I've written, because that's a little narcissistic to say that your songs have pulled you through tough times. But honestly, I'm the kind of person that if I'm having a really bad day, music speaks to me, but it's not the kind of music you would think. It's not even the kind of music I even write. And so I began to think, what songs over my life, 47 years, have pulled me through tough times? And so I made 14 song record and did not write one of the songs on this. These are songs I go to when I need lifting up, in hopes that these will also be those kind of songs for
Well,
other
I
people.
loved what I heard the 12-minute on your website. I listened to this 12, it goes through each dream when you're feeling blue. That was in there, and I love that song. Just read the list,
Okay.
and then let's talk about it.
Okay. Number one is Dream, and I'm featuring Jimmy Capps. Jimmy Capps was a 60-year plus member of the Grand Ole Opry, the staff musician there. Number two is The Family Chain, and I feature Ricky Skaggs. Number three is The Early Morning Breeze, and I do it with my friend Dolly Parton. And number four is God Leads His Dear Children Along, and that
Oh,
features Kelly Back and the Whites. Number five is The Glory of Love, and I feature Reggie and Lady Love on that one, the big band sound. Number six is Where We'll Never Grow Old, and that
mm,
features Jimmy Capps, Allison Krauss, and my husband John Bowman. And
wow.
there's a lot of great moments I'll go into after this, but number seven is Master of the Wind, and I feature Bruce Watkins, Candy Christmas, and Aaron Crabb.
Mm,
On number eight is Remember, and I feature Ron Block, and the first time that I've ever sang in the studio with my kids, Levi and Jacoby.
wow.
Number nine is Way Up on the Mountain, and I do a duet with Connie Smith. And on guitars, I have John Bowman, my husband, Marty Stewart. And then I have a male quartet behind me: Joe Bonzel, Bradley Walker, Tim Moxley, and my daughter, Jacoby. It's so fun. It's like
Well,
a
what
collaboration.
about pulling in the greatest singers and musicians to ever breathe, or at least currently breathing?
Well, I'm an old soul. I'm an old
Yeah.
soul, and I am very loyal to people that I love, and the people that have influenced my life influenced them in the early years of my life. So it's a
Okay, wait.
blessing,
I interrupted you. Keep going through the
Okay,
songs. Don't finish. I mean, we
number
got to.
10.
I want to hear the songs, and then we're going to get into everything
Okay,
else.
number 10 is The Good Shepherd, featuring Mike Riddle, Jimmy Fortune, and Charlotte Ritchie. And then number 11 is It Feels Like Home, featuring Brian Sutton. Number 12 is so fun. It's called He's My Guide, featuring Doyle Lawson and Russell Moore. The first time they've sung together like that on a record since they recorded together years ago. Number 13, I'll Meet You in the Morning. Now listen to this: Del McCurry, Bill Gaither, Jamie Daly, Rhonda, and Darren Vincent. And then the last song I close the record with is It Is Well With My Soul, featuring Vince Gill.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And today it is available to download and buy. You can buy the CD at theisaacs.com. And I am so excited about it. So, what was it about these songs? I mean, it sounds like it's not just for people who are depressed or people who are, have Crohn's disease.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's people like me who kind of skip through life pretty easily, as far as the
Mm-hmm.
disease department. And I've hit a few sidewalks with my head without a helmet, but it's Dream. Just that song alone is worth this whole project to me. I love your voice on that. You know who you remind me of? Patsy Cline.
That's
For
what my
some
husband says.
reason, what now?
John says that as well.
Oh, that's not a bad thing. That's
I
not a
love
bad thing.
Patsy. I love
Okay,
Patsy.
so what now? Out of all, when you were choosing all these people to sing on your project, how did I end up on the list that I wasn't called?
Honestly, you were on my list to call, but it.
I'm so glad you didn't call because
Oh
I
well, I
love
actually
the.
wanted you on the Master of the Wind, but I felt like it might have been too high.
Oh yeah,
Ben said he sang it along, and I said Mark would be perfect. And he said, Becky, it's about two keys higher than he sings. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay. So Aaron's a true tenor, and I didn't realize I sing that high. I'm an alto, but I guess Sonia sings really high and Ben
And
sings high. So
Ben sings high.
what's funny about it is I would not let my family sing on this record. There's no Sonia, there's no Ben, there's no Lily.
Well, we've
And
heard
it
enough
kind
of
of,
them.
well, and I've always said I sing with my family my whole life. They know everything about me with the Isaacs. So I wanted to do this and hear what I sounded like with other
Yeah,
people. And so when I started doing this record and I was picking these songs, you're right. It's not just for afflicted people or people that have battled anxiety or people that have been sick, but we're all living in a very crazy world, and we're in a very high moving technological world. I sometimes I'm so busy and I'm on my phone doing this and I'm doing that, and I literally say to myself, what I just did not even register. I was so busy multitasking
right,
that I sit down and I'm like, did I do that today? Because I didn't take my time doing it.
right.
And these kind of songs, The Dream and Remember and The Glory of Love, I'm a 30s soul. I didn't realize I love 30s music, 20s and 30s. And these three songs were written in the 20s and 30s and the early 40s.
Really?
And I realized as I began to study what was so impactful about the 20s and 30s music was that, the Great Depression, the wars that we were going into and out of. And a lot of them were in poverty and they were hungry, but the music was still there. That was the one thing that nobody could take from the people. When they were hungry, I hear John talk about how his granny survived the Great Depression and they were so poor that he said that they didn't even realize the Great Depression was happening because that's just how they lived. But they always had the music. They always had the song in their heart. And the thing about the music in the 20s and the 30s is it's got that happy feeling to it because
Right.
they lost everything else. And so I was drawn to that kind of music. And it's relevant to me today because so many people are just, they've got family issues, they've got parent issues, they've got this going on, they're busy, they've got life happening. And, we're in a crazy political, a mess in the world, and people are on this side and that side, and COVID happens, they think this and they think that. And, I just feel like it's relevant because when you sit down and listen to these songs, the one thing that resonates is the lyrics and the simplicity of it, that will hopefully take you back to how they felt in the 20s and the 30s, when the music is really, it's a gift from God.
And they're
That
hopeful.
hopeful music.
When
Yeah,
you're in a hopeless situation, boy, it's nice to be able to dream
that's right.
when you're feeling blue. I love that melody.
Dream.
You know
You've
what I
always
love?
got dreams.
I love about the melodies back then too. They never stayed on the same note too long. Have you ever
Yeah.
noticed that? There was no get all excited, go tell everybody. They
Yeah.
would. And now the purple dusk of twilight time. You know how they
Yeah.
moved
Hmm.
around?
Hmm.
And I love that. I love that about that era and all the great writers. Hey, so what do you hope people will get out of this project? What was your goal, or was it just a I did my love song CD. It was just a bucket list project. I just
That's
did it because I wanted to do it. It never made any money, but I wanted to do it, so I did it.
Honestly, that's my goal. I have no goals. I When I talked to Vince on the record, on the phone, telling him about the record and the vision and what I wanted to do, and I was like, Vince, if I sell 7 CDs, I'm happy. I didn't do it for anybody but me.
Oh,
Number one, I did it because I needed to prove to myself I could. I'm shy. I've been in music my whole life, and I just wanted to do something that came from my soul, not from um, everybody telling me what to do or how to do it.
Ben.
And then my family, but I I honestly, I didn't hire a publicist. I've not hired a team.
You had
I
no red tape to crawl
No,
over or
no,
under?
no. I mean, I do have goals of hoping to recoup it,
Yeah, sure.
but getting your money back for all you spent to make it. But besides that, I don't have goals. I am not out to sell 1 million copies. If you like it, great. If you don't, fine. I
But you're
didn't do
not
it
getting
for
your money back.
right. But I, I seriously, when people say that, you're like, you don't have any goals. And I'm like, nope, I did it with friends, and I've honored people that have influenced my life, and that's good enough for me.
Well, I am so excited today. Go, rush, run to get Becky Isaacs Bowman's new CD, her solo CD, y'all. She's never done one before and may not ever do one again unless it does like, oh, here's the new Patsy Cline. And it just keeps then she'll have to the demand from the public. And then
Right.
then they'll say Becky Isaacs and the Isaacs everywhere.
Just remember, Mark, Team Becky has about 8 fans. So,
Team Becky. I'm on Team Becky. Tell them about Team Becky. It's really
well,
between you and Jimmy Erie. It's hysterical.
it is. My brother-in-law and I just have this rivalry. We're just like that. We think alike, and we're a whole lot alike, and so we always give each other a hard time. And so, as songwriters, we write a lot together and we have great. And of course, I have so much admiration for Jimmy. He's an amazing singer, he's an amazing songwriter, he's a great entertainer. He really communicates well. But because of his sore spots and his buttons that I know I can push, I do it for fun. And so I just pick on him. I pick on him, and it's so fun.
It is so
And
fun.
like, if you think it's a joke, but at Christmas when we're on the bus, it's constant. Like, we just really have this loving pick on each other relationship. And so I was doing a show one time, and so he always picks on me because I wrote
By
a
the
song.
way, his show is called Yerie's Chapel, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
y'all, you need to watch it. It's my brother's favorite show on TV or the internet or anywhere. He
It's
is
a fun
so
show.
entertaining. He
He
really
really
is.
is. He's got a
Okay,
gift.
go ahead.
So anyway, he always gives me a hard time because he's like, well, how many number ones have you written? And of course he's in country music. And I'm like, you look at my house, you look at his house, and you can see who wrote country number ones. And so, anyway, he always likes the song "Stand Still" that I wrote, but he gives me a hard time, and I'm like, well, you didn't write that one, and So when we do his live stuff, people are always saying "Sing Stand Still" because they're giving Jimmy a hard time, and then the hashtag started going around Team Becky, and so all of my fans, 8 of them,
Yeah.
started ganging up on Jimmy and Team Becky, and then it started catching on, and now at our shows, people will show up in the audience with Team Becky shirts. And
I
it's so
love
funny
that.
because Jimmy can't catch up. It's like he gets picked on so much. So it's a lot
Well,
of
let
fun.
me tell you, I think some big things are ahead for Jimmy Urey that we
Mhm.
cannot even imagine. And I think
Yeah.
it's going to be on TV. I think it's going to be spectacular. I think he is probably one of the most talented humans I've ever
Hmm.
personally known.
Yep.
Not only funny, uh, one of the best writers. He knows how to put a song together.
Yeah.
It's like you lay down a puzzle in front of him, and he just knows every piece. He's a genius. But I want to tell you,
Yep.
you are too. I'm really
No,
team.
not like that.
I'm
Mhm.
team both of y'all, and
You can't say that on my
I
interview.
I know it. I can't wait for everybody to hear this CD. Thank you for being my special guest today, Becky.
I am so happy. Thank you, Mark. I love you so
I
much.
love you.